Please give it up for the lovely and talented young master, Joel Elliott.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so give it up for Hannah and Bonnie behind the bar working hard for you guys. Give it up for them. Okay, if that's not good enough, give it up for Bonnie's shirt. Have you seen Bonnie's shirt? Oh my God. I want to swing from those tassels like a monkey. Like, I think that shirt makes me want to do things that would put me in Madison County Jail. Oh yeah, round of applause. Who's been in Madison County Jail? Anybody? Hey! Yeah! Dude, you Facebook messaged me from Madison County Jail recently. That was a bizarre conversation we had. Yeah, I've been to Madison County Jail. The guy that got me into like the comedy scene here, Justin Ledlow, I know he's a Foxworthy fan, and so here's a couple for you. If you are getting served cornbread 3 times a day, and 3 times a day some big black dude named Yorkie is saying, let me get that cake, you might be in Alabama jail. If you tell your story to the guard, and the guard says to you, oh, well, you probably just didn't hit her right, you might be in Alabama jail. I make that joke because that's what the guard says. I told my therapist that I went to, it was at the end of a messy divorce, I was getting punched in the face and I poked my wife with a spoon. With a spoon, mind you. The rounded end of a spoon. When I told my therapist that I went to jail for saying, get back, and poking my wife who was, coming at me with a spoon, my therapist laughed out loud. Like, in this toxic relationship, my wife told me, like, oh, everybody's gonna hate you. You're gonna, they're gonna be like, you're a wife beater, and I hate you, and I'll never ever, value you as a human being again. She put me in Alabama jail. The guards told me when I told my story, oh, you probably didn't hit her right. And I was like, oh my God, wait, what side of the bars are you on, and what side of the bars am I on? I'm gonna have to discuss with the guard, like, it's that domestic violence is wrong. That should, who's on the what side of this? It was horrible. That's why every day I wake up in Alabama, I'm like, oh God, it happened again. Because it just, all the viewpoints around here, the guards in the jail are pretty cavalier about, like, whether or not violence is the answer. I don't think violence is the answer. I hold myself culpable for what I did. But holy hell, Madison County Jail was an experience. I ended up, because I like to ham it up, I met this guy in jail. He was, back in my hometown, we call it pimping. In Madison County Jail, they call it human trafficking, allegedly. But there's this human trafficker, okay, this pimp befriends me in Alabama jail. And I become, because we decide this would be pretty funny, I become this guy's Farnsworth Bentley. Do you guys know who Farnsworth Bentley is? It was like the butler to P. Diddy. Yeah, it's this guy that dresses up and he buttles for P. Diddy. I was like, hey dude, how funny would it be if you had a white guy that was like just being your butler in jail? Like everybody else would be like, wow, this guy's so important. And so we did this. Every day I would stand by his cell, like I locked down, and he would do like the exaggerated pimp walk to the cell, and I'd be like, sir, and open the cell door. And the new people in there were like, oh my God, what's going on with this guy? He's got a white butler. And so I just kept buttling for the guy, like whenever it was like food time, when it was feeding time, I would make sure I sit on the other side of the cafeteria, and I would watch this pimp. And when the pimp would finish his meal, I would just like turn up behind him like a ninja. And I'd be like, are you done, sir? And he'd be like, yes, I am. Take this away, Farnsworth. And I would take his tray away and I would dump it out in the thing, and sometimes he'd give me cake. And people like just honestly thought that I was his butler. It was the funnest thing. Oh my God. I'm a uniter. I brought people together in jail. I met an alleged heroin dealer that went by the name of Phoenix. He was a gay black man, okay? And I also knew a guy, I befriended a guy who allegedly sold a bunch of meth. And his name was Dan. He was a lieutenant in the Aryan Nation, okay? Now, because I'm friends with Lieutenant Dan from the Aryan Nation, and I'm friends with Phoenix, the gay black alleged heroin dealer, I brought those two together as friends and cellmates. They got along so famously. Look, this is a white dude with swastikas on his chest. and a flamboyant black man. But they ended up being the best of friends because I bring people together. These two dudes, you have no idea how romantic it is in jail, and not like that, but like just a lot of emotional men, you know. These two dudes were like getting along so well, and they liked me so much. They asked the guard if they could have a sleepover with me. Like they were like, "Could Joel sleep over tonight?" It was the weirdest damn thing. I got so many hugs when I got let out of Alabama jail, you have no idea. It was just hug after hug after hug, and then I hit the streets with a copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I walked to the Voodoo Lounge, and I found Shelly. You guys know the bartender Shelly? Yeah, I found Shelly, and I was like, "Hey, Shelly, hey, I know you've only met me a couple times because I've only done a couple comedy sets at the Coppertop, but like, do you remember me?" And she was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Where you been?" I was like, "I've been in jail." And she was like, "Oh, cool," and just gave me a hug because, I mean, just look around you. Like, the 30% of the people in this place have been in jail. It's the Coppertop, you know, like Shelly was unfazed. But, oh my God, it hasn't been a ride. I have been just doing comedy now for the last 2 years after, you know, starting over life in Huntsbury, Alabama, Stan. It's terrifying, Tom. I thank you for loving me for hating where I am because, oh my God. I have heard so much, and now, mind you, this is not the countryest place in the United States that I've seen. I moved from Baltimore City, Maryland, just like an hour and a half north, to Hanover, Pennsylvania. Oh my God, Hanover, Pennsylvania, otherwise known as North Alabama. There are more rebel flags in Pennsylvania than in this entire state. I promise you. Now, yes, Gettysburg is in Pennsylvania, you know, like, and this is near Gettysburg. These people were not all reenactors, I assure you. These people were I mean, you think it's country around here, go to Pennsylvania. That is the whitest place I have ever seen in my life. The first thing I did when I got to Hanover, Pennsylvania was like, I asked people, I did like a poll on the street. I was like, "Hey, can you tell me, where did they put all the black people? Because I don't see any in this entire town, and that doesn't happen by accident." There was a race riot in Hanover, Pennsylvania in 1991. Not 61, 91. Like, I knew some of the cops that were there. There were Molotov cocktails thrown. It was nuts. It is so country in Pennsylvania, so in a sense it's a relief to be here in Rocket City, because like, they've got books and stuff. I mean, you know? I mean, there are more PhDs here in Huntsville, Alabama than anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the country. And all of those doctorates, all of those people who possess doctorate degrees are just horrified at the rest of the state. Huntsville is like this little oasis of sophistication. It's beautiful. Like, we've got our pinkies halfway out here in Huntsville, Alabama. And so thank God. I just appreciate the fact that you here, Huntsville, can read. I got as far as Athens, and I was like, I'm turning around. Being stuck in the city is awesome. I've been putting shows out on YouTube that are branded Stuck in Huntsville. Put Stuck in Huntsville into YouTube, you'll see some shows. And I've pushed these shows to the point, like, they've been infecting the Huntsville subreddit lately. And a cashier girl turned around and looked at me the other day and like, got this, you know, that sideways look of, I've seen you before, and she said, "Hey, are you stuck in Huntsville?" And I was like, "Oh my God, yes! I'm very stuck. I'm extremely stuck in Huntsville." When I was on the radio in Pennsylvania, I went by Scary Jerry West, and like, over time, they just started calling me Scary Jerry, and then over time, it just dropped to Scary. And so I'd come into bars, and they'd be like, "Oh, are you scary?" I was like, "Yes, I'm very scary." Now, years later, more than a decade later, I built this celebritramp status in Huntsville, Alabama, and people are walking up to me going, "Are you stuck in Huntsville?" Yes! It's just bizarre. I'm redefining words as I go along with my, you know, my celebritard career. Because I don't make money at this anymore. Like, I used to do this professionally. Now, I don't even know why I'm here, except for all this love that I've received from you guys today. Zestos, Coppertop, you have been great. I, on the other hand, have just been chill.